And we're live. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to the Mojo Show, your real estate podcast where we talk about everything real estate. I'm your host, Joe Mortgage.
And I'm Cup of Joe Mortgage.
This week's episode, we are wrapping up our series on using social media to grow your brand and business, whether you're a realtor, loan officer, or any other business, quite frankly, that uses social media to help drive potential customers to your business. You're going to want to stay tuned for this as we recap the last 3 episodes. But before we get to that, a little coffee talk with the Joes this morning. So summer is finally here, Joe. And summertime is usually when, some good concerts, especially outdoor concerts, usually happen. So do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
I do. Excuse me. Wow.
we going
I'm going back to those times, I guess, with my voice. But no, I do remember my first concert. I think I was 8th grade. Oh
wow!
8th grade or my freshman year. Might have been my freshman year.
Okay.
Went to Aerosmith here in DFW, in the DFW area. It was the first concert I ever went to, like a big concert.
Yeah.
And, that was probably, without my parents, was an experience in its own because, I'm 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. So it must have been freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah.
And was at this concert that I've never been around. I was very sheltered. Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you start sniffing around. You're like, and then you figure out what it is. So, but I would say that was one of the best concerts that I remember going to, as without your parents. I went to a bunch of Alabama and things like that with the Houston Rodeo.
Okay.
But when we lived down there, but my first concert I went with my friends was Aerosmith.
Wow. Aerosmith. That had to have been a great concert. I
think it was 92, 93 time.
Okay.
So what about you, Joe? What was your first concert?
I'm kind of ashamed to say this one because it kind of takes, obviously takes it back a few years. I think it was definitely in high school, maybe senior high school, I want to say. The county fair that we had up there in Michigan and the county I was living in, Alabama.
All right.
Alabama was the first concert I ever went to. I still remember that. Been to, other concerts. Some of my favorite concerts. Actually, my all-time favorite concert was I went and I was in Atlanta and I saw Jimmy Buffett.
Yep.
That was hands down the best concert I've ever been to.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy in Las Vegas.
Did you?
It was a great concert until I got a little too tired because we stayed up way too late and drank too much before we went there. But Jimmy Buffett was a great concert we went to in Vegas. So I do. And I went to Alabama, like I said, down in the Houston Rodeo. So these are all old times. I feel like it's different. My daughter went to Dierks Bentley for her first concert up here in Omaha.
Dierks Bentley.
So my son goes to a bunch of different ones, but Dierks Bentley was my daughter's first, and she loved it. So.
Well, those are listening in. I'd love to hear what your first concert was that you went to that was memorable for you, I'm sure, and what how old you were, or what stage in life you were, if in school or junior high like Joe was. But would love to hear from anyone out there listening in as far as what your first concert was. Before we get going though, because actually I know we don't have a special guest today. It's just you and me, Joe, but we do want to wrap up our series on using social media to grow your brand and business. One of the things that I know first off when Taylor was on, I thought she pointed out was great, is to be authentic.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the biggest keys, right? In being authentic.
Well, I mean, all three of them kind of said that, right? Tyler said it, Glenda said it, Taylor started us off with saying it. And it's kind of like our podcast right here. We can try to prep, we can do edits, we could do this and put it out there later on. And you guys would not know if it was live or not, to tell you the truth, because the way AI and different things do now on answering comments, it's ridiculous. But Joe and I are very authentic. We're here to talk today about what we learned from the series. We're also here to get some feedback from you guys. So please drop in those comments, those questions. If you've taken any helpful hints off of what we've done the last 3 episodes, let us know, because this is what
I'd love to hear it.
we do. But Joe, with the authentic way of doing posts and things like that, what did you take away from that kind of, in your posting and the things that you're going to do on social media? What did that mean to you?
So for me, because when I started doing videos and posting that a few years ago, yes, I had to have it be perfect. I did. I used a green screen. I still have my green screen studio right there on the other side here.
You have a teleprompter too, don't you?
For my phone, my iPhone, yes, I've got an app that does the teleprompter and everything, which was a great discovery actually, because before I had to memorize each sentence, and it was painstaking. It'd take me like an hour to record, right? And then from there, I'd swap out the green screen background for a different background, and then you're editing, and then you're doing the closed caption. I mean, it was just on and on and on, right? So it'd take a couple hours just to do one video. And as you saw, and I think some others the other week, I just did a video sitting right here in my chair.
Yep.
Using the same camera that I'm using right now for our podcast, and just recorded a video. And after I recorded it, Grant, I spliced off the front end, the back end, put closed caption in. I mean, it took me like 15 minutes, right? I didn't have to do any green screen stuff, nothing. And that's what I really wanted to try to incorporate from everything that's been said in the past few episodes, is getting rid of that perfection, and just being authentic.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thing that I took away from that is my stutters, my blotches, oh my gosh, why did I say it that way? And so when I'm doing my videos, even to my clients now, when I do I do Loom videos, to my clients with their worksheets and stuff, but I'm going to do the same take on social medias. I don't stop and start over. I don't stop and then edit that part out just because that's me. And I want to see, how do I progress? How do I get better? And Tyler, we do these workshops, we do these other things, and you're going to the one in San Antonio here in a couple of weeks. He showed us his videos from the very beginning, when it was, he even cringes by watching these videos. And, Tyler's great at all this stuff now, but going back and seeing the progression that he did to where he is now kind of opened my eyes of, he's very authentic the way that he did it, just didn't know where he was going, what he wanted to do. His presence, his tone was a lot different. So kind of taking that, I'm doing the same thing. I'm watching my first videos and just trying to progressively get better. And hopefully in, the next year or so, we get even better. Like you said, you don't want to go back and look at our first episode. You won't even post it on YouTube so people can see it.
No, I will not.
We start on episode 2, by the way, everyone.
That was bad.
But that's what I took from the authentic part of it is, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then you're not going to get better by just going out there and making something perfect to post it, because then you're always going to look for that perfection versus just being yourself.
So videos, I want to talk about videos real quick, because something that I incorporated from all this and started doing, and I've talked to the realtors that I work with and that, so that they know, because I've been getting really good results from this. So normally when a realtor has a client that they want me to work with, I'm of course having them start a group text message of the 3 of us, me, right, the realtor, and the client. And then I, introducing each other. From there, what I've started to do, instead of texting back and finding a good time to get together, right? Instead, what I've started doing is I take my phone, and wherever I am, and this actually started at a discount tire, when I because the group text message came through. Latoya, if you're listening, you know the story because you're the realtor that sent this to me. And I couldn't, I'm at Discount Tire trying to get, tire fix that. So I stepped outside and I had the Discount Tire sign behind me, and I videoed with my phone. I videoed my response back and told the client, hey, as you can see, I'm getting a tire fixed, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, I'm going to drop my link to my secured website in the group text message. go there, fill out your loan application, and then we'll schedule some time together, blah, blah, blah. Give me the instructions, right? It got such a great response that now that's what I'm doing. And what I've started to do is instead, when someone texts me, instead of texting back, I'm doing a video back to them.
Okay. That kind of
hearing it's more people are able to relate to this, especially first-time home buyers. They're afraid to talk to us, thinking we're this, stuffy suit and tie, and little do they know we're, ball caps and hoodies and
true.
And so this made it more relatable for them, and I'm getting a lot better responses from doing that intro as a video.
I think I'm gonna steal that from you. The one thing I do is the group text, like we all kind of coach to with our agents, but I do the text back saying, hey, do you have time right now for a quick phone call to kind of do that, that first intake call, introduce myself, stuff like that. I like the video thing, and doing it new each time is very simple. I mean, it's not even 30 seconds. It's
exactly
introduce yourself. Hey, I like that. I like how you're doing that. And that kind of ties to what Glenda was saying when she talks about video content for social media. She was telling us about the story that she had, and I can't remember the girl's name. I think she was making the lady's name up, but at the cheer out on the football field, they were having a conversation. And then that's how she does her videos, is it's just like talking to that person, like you and I right now. You could do that on a video for social media too, of how you kind of introduce yourself, or how that conversation goes, or what you just talked about there. I love that kind of part about social media too, is Glenda gave me a helpful hint of, you don't have to try to do this whole production, just act like you're having that conversation, and the camera's the person that you just talked to when you're sharing that information. I like that. So that's a new thing that you're seeing success from it. What other kind of things with your video are you seeing on social media? Because you and I both, we kind of shied away from doing too many videos or shorts. You've done a lot more than I have, but how are you seeing that over the social media stuff? Are you seeing any interactions? Are you getting more engagement? What kind of tell us about the video stuff that you've done?
So on YouTube, on our YouTube channel for the Mojo Show, I've started to incorporate shorts from our half-hour podcast, just pulling out, helpful pieces that we've focused on, whether it's been about house flipping or whatever it's about, credit scores, what have you, as far as those that we've had on the show in the past, the shows that we've had, and uploading those. The first one that I uploaded, and Glenda, thank you again so much for helping me with this and showing me step by step how to go through and do this. But the first one, Joe, we got like 1.4 thousand views on it. And I was like, wow, that's phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So what I've tried to do since then, though, is, as Glenda told us, and Ashley and Tyler, Taylor and Tyler, is to be consistent with it. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing that twice a week, and once I get that down, then I want to, do 3 of them a week, right? To be able to post and show so we can get more people to our YouTube channel, and hopefully more subscribers, so we can get our voice about real estate and helpful education out to more people out there.
Yeah, I'd love to know if anybody listening, or the 2 people that we usually have listen, make a comment for us. How often are you actually posting on social media from a consistency standpoint? And we would love to know it. We'd love to see some people making comments, but that's where I struggle, Joe, is trying to come up with what is consistency for me. Okay. Because I'm struggling with setting time and actually following that time on when I need to make posts. And it kind of taking from Glenda, she has her day of videos, or she has her times that she does certain things. And I'm trying to figure out that in my own schedule, so that way when I do the social media post, it's consistent, but it doesn't have to be the same time every day. And that's where I think I struggle with what Glenda was talking about when she's like, I do this, and if it takes me all afternoon, I have it blocked out to where she kind of does those videos and does the different things. And then she'll use that and post it throughout the week. That's where she's getting her consistency. And I like that. I just got to figure out, what am I going to start with? Because easy posts are those, like what Tyler says, don't be Tony the Tiger, great post, right? That was great. That type of attitude. And so I'm trying to figure out more depth. But again, I go back to that authentic part of, I'm getting away from that because I'm trying to plan too much. So I'm struggling with that. And I would love any of our viewers to let us know, even if it's later on, put a comment in there on how I get past that struggle of getting to having the content and the consistency. And I already know Joe's answer over here. You have 59 episodes, Joe, to go back to and pull content off of. I know where you're going with that.
It's true. We've probably got, out of all the shorts, 30, 60-second short movies or videos, that we have from the past, almost 60 episodes now. We probably have over 300 short videos, shorts that we could be using, right?
I could post one almost every day and would not double up until, 300 days later.
Pretty much. But see, here's the thing, though. Two things I thought of when you were talking about that is, number one, what to post about, right? It is one of the things that you said that you're trying to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Because granted, Glenda, she does the batch video, recordings so that she has everything set for the entire week. She's very organized with that. She really is. And that's, I mean, that's, I think, beyond you and I. But
I will agree with that comment.
But I know what Tyler and Taylor both said in regards to kind of having your own pillars. If we can come up with, say, 3 to 5 pillars, things that we want to focus on. If it's something personal, if it's something business, if it's something golf related, right?
Yeah, recreational.
Right. Our dogs, right? I mean, something that is, right? I mean, actually, for the past month, I've been trying to post something on Tuesdays about tacos because I love tacos. And so I've been trying to post something humorous about Taco Tuesday. So that may be a pillar for me, right?
Okay.
But trying to figure that out, I think, is our initial steps for you and I both. Finding the time, though, that's where you and I have a problem, because even
is that where we have a problem, Joe, or is that where we mentally say we have a problem? All right, let's be realistic.
Well, kind of both, because if we block the time out in our schedule, when that time comes, you and I are going to find an excuse to find something else to do.
Okay, that's why I was going to say we are busy. Don't get me wrong. I got loans to work up. I got LOs that I'm supporting, things like that. But I'm not making it a priority. And we've talked about that a lot. And Josh does our coffee roundtables on Tuesdays. And Nash, love him to death, but he calls a spade very politely, not really politely, but he calls a spade.
No, not politely.
But it's true. We don't make it a priority. I call it laziness in myself because I'm too lazy to make it a priority. So I think that is my spot. And, I might call myself out on social media and make that a little bit more doable for me from that perspective. So I called us both out on that too. We just got to do it. That's what we talked about in the first couple episodes is, how about that person that's just not comfortable doing it? We are that person. And that's what's awesome about this show, guys, is, Joe and I've been doing the show now for over a year. We're on 59 episodes, and we still struggle with doing consistent things on social media. And so, we're not the only ones out there. We're not the only ones in the business of real estate. The realtors that are out there, if you've been doing it for a long time, you're struggling with social media, we want you to hit us up. We want you guys to ask questions, motivate. We'll help motivate you guys to do it, and we have to do it ourselves. So if there's anything we can do there, we want you guys to reach out. And I'm going to post our email addresses right here, so that way you guys can, reach out anytime. Because this is where, if we're struggling with it, other people are. even though we did a series on this, Joe, we're not
Right.
perfect.
No.
And I would love to come on here and been like, hey, I tried this, I tried that, I tried this. I tried some things worked, but then I just kind of let it fall off. And that's where Tyler was talking about. You always have to be consistent about it, because there's those people out there that might not see it that first time or that second time, but they're going to see something the third time. And that's when it might come to mind. Joe, I've been in the business for 25 years, right? Started off with door knockers that we would put in canvas places for possible refinances. We did it for purchases. Start thinking of that as those door knockers. Some of them were a lot of waste of money, but that one person that went to their door and was like, oh, I rent this house, I want to buy, or hey, I've got debt, I want to refinance. Right. That one person, it captured.
Right.
So I got to start treating social media in that sense of, it's not about, instant reactions. It's about when somebody needs it, is it capturing that one person? That's what I'm going to go with and see if it works for me.
And I can't remember if it was Taylor or Tyler that said this, that DMing is the new door knocking. That's the new door knocking.
I think that was Tyler, because Tyler does a ton of DMs, and it's against people like, I mean, he'll reach out to other loan originators and brokers, not just real estate agents, just to see how your business is going, what you're doing. And it's not so much recruiting, it's to see, is there things that, you're doing different that we need to bring to our team? It's networking. There's plenty of business out there if we're all doing the right things.
Right. Right.
And so trying to help each other. And that's what I really admire about Tyler and Taylor and Glenda on social media, is they're willing to help people outside of just our office. Tyler and Taylor both do classes. Taylor does a bunch of them on social media. Glenda does a bunch of them for real estate agents. So, we're trying to bring this stuff out there, and I really do enjoy listening to them. Now I've just got to start putting a lot of it in practice.
One thing that I learned from someone else, actually a seminar that I had gone to about DMing, when we do DMs on social media, with Facebook, what have you, and this kind of ties into what Tyler had said, as far as don't be Tony the Tiger and just give a thumbs up, right?
Right.
So for I want to make sure I say this correctly. So let's say for your Facebook account, you are not getting any credit per se when you give a thumbs up on someone's post.
Right.
But if you do any of the other emojis, right, especially the angry face one, you're getting your numbers up, so to speak.
The algorithm, right?
Yeah, the algorithm, right, is more. The thumbs up does absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
So
hearts and laughing and mad are the ones that really get you going.
So if you see me doing an angry face on your post, no one understand. I'm just trying to get the algorithm going. It's not that I'm mad at you. It's just getting the algorithm going there.
Right. I like that one. That is one thing, but it kind of goes back to that. Don't just like, love, or set a mad face. Right. Make a comment. And that's what Tyler was talking about and Taylor was talking about. We keep kind of saying, and Glenda, all three of them kind of say the same things, is don't do that. Hey, congratulations, hey, like right now, a bunch of high school graduations went on, and I see a lot of congratulations, great job, things like that. And that's what he's talking about. Don't do those that you're great kind of comments to get engagement. You kind of want to make something about it. So, like I had one graduate, and it was, you're starting a new future. Can't wait to see what you do with it. You've been, it's been great knowing you. Congratulations on graduating, right? Something to that, because honestly, I am looking forward to seeing what they do in their future. But then they commented back saying, thank you. And then I replied saying, thank you for the comment, or thank you for, right? I called them out a little bit because I wanted to see how they would react. And they came back and said, thank you for being a part of my life. And so it was good on that aspect, but it was funny because I don't know if they knew what to answer when I said, thank you for the comment, or thank you for the, the inspiration. And so it was just something that I did something different. And I got some engagement on that. And I got a couple of laughing emojis when that question was there, because people found it funny. Yeah. So that's little things that I'm trying to do different. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Little things that I'm trying to do different, just so that way I'm getting more engagement. And what I'm seeing when I do this too, and I don't know if you've seen this, I'm getting sick and tired of advertisements.
Oh, please.
And
Totally.
I'm not a big Instagram person. And I know Instagram, you don't get them the way that you do on Facebook. But I'm seeing the more that I interact and more people engage in my comments or engage in things, I'm seeing the ads go down, and I'm seeing more of the friends or connections I have post over just the advertisement. Maybe it's just me. I notice that I see more of actual posts versus just the advertisements the more that I'm doing it, and engaging with others. Because if I'm not engaging with them, then that doesn't really pull them back into my kind of focus things that I see.
Interesting. Love that.
And I would love to know if anybody else has experienced that too, or if it's just me and I'm crazy.
Well, I know we're coming up on our time. We've got a few minutes left. Would love any questions or anything from anyone. Maybe some comments as far as what you've been able to take away from this series. I know Joe and I have taken a lot from this, and hopefully we're able to implement a lot of it. I think the biggest takeaways for me, Joe, is being authentic and videos. More videos. Videos are definitely king on social media, a lot more than just verbiage. I think that those are the two big things: being authentic and videos. More videos I need to do.
Yeah, my takeaway was authentic, just doing it, being about me and being comfortable about my brand, and things like that. So that's the one. And then the other one is the engagement, not doing the Tony the Tiger greats.
There you go.
And I've heard Tyler say this twice, and it finally sinking in, because I was doing the same things on those comments and stuff. So those are the things that I'm trying to change. There's so many other takeaways, but those are the two big ones for me. Is the authentic, and then just don't do the typical like or love. Make some comment, make something that's a little bit more impactful. So I like that one too.
Being able to kind of mix our personality with our knowledge, right? To be able, because obviously we want it to be authentic, but we want the content to be valuable for people. Right. Not just put something out there, right? That it's kind of entertaining, but educational. Right.
Yeah. And I think somebody else said, I want to say it was Glenda, is sometimes your post can be both personal and educational. And kind of that's where she came up with that story of where she was at, what she was doing about a personal, and then she tied it into what their conversation was. So I like that too, that authentic, and also making it about both personal and business, not always business and not always just personal.
Right. So, kind of a mixture of it all, definitely. Yep. But I think that kind of feeds into the different, as we were talking about, different pillars, if you will, or categories that we can focus on, whether personal, business, dogs, whatever, that we can, come up with of content type, if you will, to that. But well, I think that's all the time we have for this week, for today's show. If you want to really supercharge your social media presence, feel free to reach out to Joe or I, or any of the others, Glenda, Taylor, Tyler, any of them. If you really want to supercharge it, here's what Joe and I would love to be able to do. And that's to schedule what we are referring to as a lights, camera, action strategy day with you. That we can actually meet together and go over strategies with you. Because yes, we are learning it, but we've been incorporating it. So I know we could help you as well, to get you on track and on the road to doing, if it's video, if it's content, whatever it is, getting the strategies down for you. So our email addresses are right down there at the bottom. Feel free to reach out to us. We would love to schedule a strategy day with you. Next week, be sure to tune in next week at our usual time, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And those that were able to tune in today, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you tuning in and hopefully you were able to glean something from today and this series that you're able to use in your business. If you want to catch up on any of our past episodes, especially for this series, go to our YouTube channel, the Mojo Show Real Estate Podcast, there on YouTube. And while you're there, please be sure and hit the subscribe button, because yes, we are on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. Every like, comment, and share helps us reach more home buyers just like you. So before we close things out, any last words or nuggets of advice for our listeners, Joe?
Just thank you guys for listening in. And whoever is the 100th subscriber, we have to try to figure this out, Joe. If you're the 100th subscriber, when we hit that, we will send you a Starbucks or a coffee shop gift card for being the number 100. And we'll do that for number 200, number 300. So every one, help us get more and be that person. And I'll send you a gift card so you can go get coffee for that day.
I love that, because I think we're in the 70s right now, somewhere in the 70s. So it's not going to be
75, I think, is what I saw last.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. So let's get to that 100 mark first, and then we'll keep going to get to our 1,000. So, well, I am Joe Mortgage, and that handsome guy with the beard on is Cup of Joe Mortgage, and we'll see you next week.